Hello, everybody. It is Kelly from Ecuador, here to give you my weekly thoughts on this small little country. I am now about halfway through my semester. I have no idea how I got there. The time has passed very quickly. My Spanish has improved wonders, and I'm even starting to dream in Spanish sometimes. It's ridiculous to look back and see how little I knew during my first few weeks when I could barely say anything more than the basics. I've also been traveling a lot recently, but I'll tell you more about that in a later post. This week I'm going to tell you about patience here in Ecuador. Um, Patience is something that is very valuable when visiting here. Mail takes forever to arrive. You wait in long lines anywhere you go. Lines don't really even exist, to be honest, except funny enough at my university where I found out the hard way after getting yelled at by some people. But everything's just slower here. Life is much slower. People walk slowly. Groups of people will hog entire sidewalks, not caring that you're trying to get by. Cars don't really care if you're crossing the street. Everywhere you go, it's a test of your patience to see, you're gonna have to wait. Things are done slower here. As I said, lines don't really exist. There was one time I was at the grocery store here and I was barely more than a foot away from the beginning of the checkout counter, and a man came in suddenly from the side and cut me and my friends. I was right there in line. Sorry I wasn't hovering at the counter and throwing my money at the lady. I mean, it happens all the time. It happened a lot at the beginning. Now I'm a little bit more aware of it. And people also stand a lot closer to each other here. There's less personal space, which I think also has a lot to do with it. So I've become more aggressive when I stand in lines. Anytime something goes wrong here, which it does all the time, everybody just rolls their eyes and says, Ecuador, and smiles. There's nothing you can do about it. You just have to learn to be patient. My word of the week this week is not so much a word, but how they alter words here. Um, in Spanish, it's very common to add ito or cito onto the end of the word. So basically, you can say, instead of coffee, cafe, you can say cafecito. And for Jorge, you can say Jorgito. For hijo, which is son, you can say ito or flaquita or casita to mean skinny and house. And what you're basically doing when you add the ito and cita onto the word, it's a way of saying how small something is, or to make a word less harsh, or to show affection through a word. Um, at first, it was really hard to distinguish between them, but I've come to realize it just means like saying doggy instead of dog, or jammies instead of pajamas. Last week I went to a capoeira event here in Quito. Capoeira is a style of dancing and fighting that originated in Brazil with the slaves and African American population. There is a dance that is more the cultural part of the I guess, style fighting. And then also you have actual fighting where students kind of spar against each other while kind of dancing to a beat. It's really interesting and really cool to watch. So here are a few clips from the event. And once again, none of this could be possible without the Gilman Scholarship that I received. If you're interested and want to take a look at the scholarship, go to the website. And until next week, adios.